A lot of artists end up in a place where they have an unhealthy relationship with their creative practice, where they have lost touch with the muse. They don't feel fulfillment in their drawing practice. And if I'm being fully honest with myself, in my 12 years as an artist, I've probably spent the majority of that time having a very unhealthy relationship with my creative voice. So ultimately, this video is targeted towards a younger version of myself. I hope that I can prevent beginner artists from going through the same pains and struggles that I went through, and hopefully guide them towards a more fulfilling and enjoyable path through drawing. Now, this is a very nuanced conversation, so I'm going to ask you to try to read between the lines and really implement all the complexity of this conversation, because this isn't going to be an easy thing to talk about. The first step in the process of taking on this new perspective and to develop a healthier relationship with our drawing practice is to stop valuing money as the highest reward. A lot of artists think that if I could make money off the art, that would be the biggest thing that I can achieve through the art practice. And I do think that this is especially common here on YouTube. A lot of the artists who make the most amount of money are seen as the best teachers. Like, oh, this teacher worked for this big company, therefore they know how to make money off their art. That is the highest reward that you can get off the art practice. And I know I lean into this sometimes as well, where I talk about my Kickstarter and things that are ways to get credibility. But ultimately, the highest achievement that you can get through the art practice is feeling fulfilled, feeling joy through it, discovering things about yourself. Those things are way higher value than actually making money off the art. And I can tell you this with 100% certainty, because I am someone who has made money off my art, and it's not nearly as fulfilling as it is to discover things through the art, to be honest in the work, and to connect deeply with other people through the work. Those things are way more fulfilling than just making money off the art. And the problem is that if you put money at the peak of what you can achieve through the art practice, you really limit what you can get out of the practice. If that is the highest thing that you can get, then you're constantly thinking about an external marketplace in terms of external validation. What do other people like? And that gets you further and further away from who you are deep inside. So to honor that deeper voice, you actually have to let go of some of those desires. You have to realize that the peak of the mountain really is available to you at any time, because being honest in your work and feeling fulfilled by the practice and feeling joy in the practice is available to you at all times. It's not about spending 10 years learning how to draw figures and practicing anatomy every day and then being rewarded with money from a big company because you did a poster for like an ad campaign for some sort of movie that like you don't actually care about, but you care about it because you know that you'll get external validation. Those desires are very shallow, and obviously you can still want those things, because if you want to make money off the art and if you want to do it as a career, that's still a goal, but it shouldn't be the peak of the mountain. The peak of the mountain should always be your fulfillment and the enjoyment that you get out of the practice. Now, if you are in a place where you want to make money off the art practice, it's very hard to take on this mindset. This is why I focus on teaching beginners, because ultimately I think that if you want to become a professional artist, this becomes very difficult. I do think that beginner artists have this advantage where they can actually just lean into the love of the drawing practice and enjoyment, and actually you end up improving way faster, and you end up achieving so much more and so much more value from that than you will ever achieve through trying to make money off the practice. The hardest part of this process is letting go of a lot of the cultural conditioning that you are used to. If you've ever done a beautiful drawing, someone has probably told you that, oh, have you tried selling this? Have you tried doing prints of this? Like, oh, I have a friend who makes money off their art. You should do that. You know, that's like almost the automatic assumption that the highest thing that you can achieve through the practice is making money off it. Other people will tell you, if you get good at drawing, oh, you should consider selling this. And that will only distract you away from what actually matters. And a lot of times you're just going to have to reject that path. You're going to have to decide that, you know what? I'm going to decide that my art practice is for me. I'm not going to make money off it ever. And that mindset of like putting those goals aside will allow you to have a way healthier practice, because if you're trying to do both at the same time, balancing the two is very difficult, because the external validation will feel so good. It'll be very addictive in the short term, but it will not fulfill the drawing practice long term. If you want an art practice that is fulfilling and sustaining throughout your life, you're going to have to focus in on the joy of it. You're going to have to focus in on the underlying feelings. There's this one experience that I've been having over and over again over the past couple of years that I think portrays this problem perfectly. A lot of times I'll find a piece of art that is tremendously beautiful. Like it just punches you in the face. You stare at it for like a good 2-3 minutes, because that feels like forever nowadays. So you stare at the piece and you're like, oh my God, this is beautiful. You immediately save it and then you try to find the artist. And when you find the artist, you realize that it was just the one piece that felt that good. Everything else just feels like a caricature of other art, while this one piece feels like a true honest drawing. And a lot of times the drawings are sketches or things that aren't even finished that feel so deeply honest. And the reason why this happens, and at least this is what I think is happening, is that a lot of these professional artists are forced to chase money. So they become caricatures of the things that they think will make money instead of focusing on the underlying feeling. And this is a mistake that I've made myself as well, where I make a good drawing and instead of trying to replicate the underlying mindset, the underlying feelings that fuel the drawing, I focus on the physical aspect of that drawing. I look at the drawing and I'm like, okay, what did I do correctly on a technical level instead of focusing on the underlying feeling? And my suspicion is that a lot of these artists who do these beautiful pieces like once in a while, but then have tons of other work that just doesn't have the same zest to it, is because they're so focused on the marketplace instead of their underlying feelings and the fulfillment that they get through the practice. Now, I understand that professional artists are in a very complicated situation, so I'm not judging them for doing that. Like, if you need to make money off your art, obviously, that's completely fine. But I do think that we need to balance the two. Learn how to make money off the art if that is a path that you've chosen, but also honor that creative spirit, because I don't think it's a sustainable practice if you do not remember why you started. Serving the muse and being honest in the work is what will make this work long term. In the years when I had an unhealthy relationship with my drawing practice, I was forgetting that ultimately good art is defined by whether or not it transforms the creator. It's not about the surface level. It is about the underlying feeling, and this is the mistake I think that most artists end up making. They start focusing more and more on the surface level of the art rather than the underlying feeling. The underlying feeling is the foundation of your building. That's the real foundation. I know that we like to pretend like the foundations are your forms, your perspective, colors, and all that stuff, but all of that stuff lives in service of the underlying feeling. What's the point of making art if you don't have something to express? And it doesn't have to be something big, but you want to express yourself through the work. You want to have a healthy relationship with the art so that you can enjoy the practice. And that is foundational. The underlying feeling is foundational. And I know it's very difficult to describe how that becomes part of your art practice. It's very difficult to teach someone to put their feelings into their work. That's why in my inner artist course, I go through so many different strategies, because it's not as easy as teaching perspective. Teaching your perspective is actually very easy because there's easy answers. You can look at the answer, you can see the results. But putting your feelings into work is so abstract and hard to grasp. So a lot of times we like to distract away from that because it's a challenging question to ask, and we start to focus more and more on the surface level. Oh, how do I draw a better perspective? How do I draw better faces? And I'm not saying not to do that, but all of that should live in service of this underlying abstract feeling that is very difficult to describe. And it's so comforting to think that, like, oh, if I just follow this schedule, if I just follow this teacher, I'll be able to draw that way and then I'll become a good artist. There's some comfort in thinking that the path is clear, when the reality is that your underlying feeling, all this abstract creative soup that's within you, is not supposed to be logical. It's not supposed to be easy to understand. It's not supposed to be safe. Being creative is valuable because it's risky. It's risky to do drawings that are honest. It's risky to be yourself in the work. That's why it's valuable. That's why it's an adventure. Whenever people leave comments, a lot of times I say, thank you for letting me be part of your creative adventure, because I want to acknowledge that every person has their own adventure, and I can be a guide. I do my best to provide as many resources, as much education as possible around the lessons that I've learned. But ultimately, I know it's a choose your own adventure. I can only guide and maybe point to different lessons, but ultimately my students are going to have to go down their own path and figure their own path out. Now, there's plenty of things that people can learn to help with that, but ultimately artists are alone on that adventure, right? We are a community of friends. We are helping each other, but your own creative path, you will feel a little bit alone in it at first, but once you get in touch with the muse, you'll be connected to this deeper force, and that abstract soup is very hard to describe. Therefore, a lot of people don't talk about it. So Don't forget that the underlying feeling is what matters. And if you only focus on the surface level, you will forget why you love drawing. You'll be distracted with the best tips to draw, whatever, instead of just having your feelings, experiencing them through your body, and then putting them on the paper. Now you can do both. You don't have to just abandon all the technical skills. There's a reason why I have my 54 free drawing exercises that are linked below. Like, I do teach those things because they are valuable, but they should always live in service of this underlying soup that's so hard to describe. And that is what matters the most. This is what I think a lot of artists end up missing, especially the ones who consume a lot of education online. If you've been consuming a lot of art tutorials, if you've been looking at a lot of high-end art that you've been like trying to chase, and it makes you feel ashamed of your own practice, just take a couple of weeks, take some time away from all of that. Put aside your inspiration folders, put aside all this stuff. If you have an unhealthy relationship with your drawing practice, you want to sit down, try to be honest in the work, try to let go of some of the expectations. You might have to write out your expectations and start grappling with them. This is something I start off my inner artist course with. So if you're interested in that, check out the Absolutely Everything bundle that's linked below. But as always, this is your adventure. You can do all of this on your own, but try to take the time to develop a healthy relationship with your drawing practice. It's important. Like, it'll change your life. It will drastically change your life if you develop a healthy relationship with your creative practice, because it is a reflection of who you are. It's a reflection of how you take care of yourself. Art should be used as self-care. Art is about self-care and adventure. It's not about making money. It's not about getting likes on social media. I know that it's very easy to fall into that trap. It's a trap I fell into for many, many years. So this is not me speaking down upon you. This is me trying to warn you, because I wasted so much time. I've been getting more and more in touch with this idea of surrender and letting go and just being yourself in the practice. And my days are so much more beautiful than they were 7-8 years ago. 7-8 years ago, I was in a dark place because I was trying to force the practice to be something that it wasn't supposed to be, because I thought that the highest achievement that I could get was being an independent artist who would sell prints. That is what I thought. I thought that that was the highest achievement. But now I'm realizing that, you know what? I sold art, I sold original pieces. And as much as that has been very helpful, it's helped my confidence, it's been beautiful to connect with collectors. All those things are true, but that are not nearly as important as feeling fulfilled in the practice and doing art that I feel proud of. And the art that you will feel proud of is a reflection of who you are. If you create a caricature of yourself or of some idea of what a high achievement is, then it won't be fulfilling. Because even if you get approval for that, you know it isn't really who you are. It's almost like being a fake person in front of someone and then they like that fake version of yourself. That doesn't feel good. But when you're fully honest with your closest friends and they give you the approval that you want, it actually has more meaning because you are actually yourself. The same is true within the art practice. The more honest you are in the practice, and the more you accept yourself as all those natural things come out, the more you will feel good about your practice, the more energized you will feel because it will feel fulfilling. So I urge you to try it, give it a shot. I know this isn't an easy thing to do. There's a lot of nuance here. There's a lot of like psychology involved. There's a lot of like challenges around like, well, if I can't make money off their art, can I really spend time doing it? And what I would say to that is, yeah, you should do it even if it doesn't make money. I think that the idea that everything should be financial is like quite gross if you really think about it. Now I understand that making money is hard. I've been broke. I understand that temptation, but I do urge most people to just keep art as a hobby, because that way you can really experience all the beauty that's available there, especially like on a spiritual level. And I know that gets into like a little bit of woo-woo, but honor that voice within you and do your best. Just do your best to enjoy the practice, because it's ultimately what matters. I start off all my courses with the joy of drawing, because that is the most important thing. And fulfillment and joy doesn't always feel good. It can also include challenges of technical skills, but keep that in mind. The underlying feeling is the ultimate fundamental. Your connection to who you are, your creative voice is what matters. I know it's not as tangible. I know it's not as easy to watch a tutorial for someone to tell you exactly what that should be. So it's tempting to forget that, but keep in mind, the underlying feelings is what matters. And this is what most artists forget. Honor that part of you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.